Live on WJRR.com. Welcome to the RP Funding Theater, everybody. All right, we got a band for you guys just fresh off the road from Jacksonville. You guys make some noise. This is Otherwise. Hold on, I'll get the door. I got double duty. I can do this. Who says I can't multitask? Josh? Nothing.
How you guys doing?
Fresh off the road from Jacksonville. We got to talk a few minutes back there. You guys, how was it yesterday up in the old Jayville?
We are still recovering right now. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was awesome, man. There was like 12,000 people there, and we got to share the stage with a lot of the bands that we look up to. So to finally be seeing some light at the end of this long dark road we've been on to get here is very redeeming. So
it's funny that you say that because I actually wanted to ask you, how did you guys get here today?
In our little bus.
In a little bus, because I was doing a little research, some background on you guys, and I saw that when you first really started out, Adrian and Ryan, right, you guys brothers, stole or borrowed for a very long period of time your mom's minivan.
Yeah.
And put 17,000 miles on it in a year following the Mayhem Festival around.
Yeah, just to do one song. I was a guest vocalist on a song by a band called In This Moment, and it's a female-fronted band, so it was a duet. And my brother was he was also doing double duties as my tour manager, and he did most of the driving, but it was just the two of us driving all across the country. So we had beds. And we had made a bed in the back of Mom's minivan. We took out the seats, and while one of us drove, the other one slept. Yeah. And it was pretty gnarly, man.
It's funny seeing all the big, huge tour buses pulling up, and then our little minivan next to it.
Yeah.
How did that go over with Mom?
She, Mom's is the whole reason we're here, man. So, she, when we're back in Vegas, her and Dad, whenever Dad's in town, they come to all the shows and they rock out with us, and it's pretty cool.
Did you promise her a new minivan when the time was right? You'd pick up a new minivan?
Yeah, the poor thing actually got totaled, man, and we were kind of. I actually choked up when we took it to the junkyard. So
she's charging them interest though, because they promised them actually a new house rather than a new minivan. So interest is pretty steep on that.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, why don't we get some music kicked off from you guys?
All right. Yeah. We're gonna start with a little jam called "Silence Reigns."
Live in the RP Funding Theater. It's Otherwise.
I saved a piece of myself from the ashes of a burning misery. You tried deceiving yourself, but what you get from me is what you see. It breaks me down, what's left of me, and all your pain is fading away from me. I'm over you. I've realized you're not the only one. I'm free of you. I've opened my eyes. You're not the only one. In prison under your skin is an angel bound by calloused apathy. I feel it growing within. A better life for me now that I'm finally free. It broke me down, what's left of me, and all your pain. It's faded away from me. I'm over you. my eyes. You're not the only one. I see your face in my dreams. The way you taste is haunting me. You see reflections of my sorrows. Or hear my voice where silence reigns. I'm over you. I've realized you're not the only one. I'm free of you. I've opened my eyes. You're not the only one.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Now, you guys mentioned you grew up in Vegas, right?
Yeah, born and
So,
raised.
then
Most
you-
of us. V was born in Chicago. Corky was born in Seattle.
But we've all been there over a decade, right?
Yeah.
Then something happened in Vegas where they found you on the street and you guys became a band, right? Something like
I
that.
found him on the
We
street.
found him on the street, yeah. They were already packing houses before I even came on board, man. It's all good.
And then V showed up on our doorstep.
And would not leave.
It just happens like that sometimes, right? Well, now,
Worked out, though.
you guys were also quoted as saying that you guys write music that you listen to.
Yeah.
Like, so who were your influences as far as putting this album together?
I mean, across the board, probably there's a handful of bands that we all kind of agree on.
A lot of which we played with yesterday.
Yeah. Shinedown being one of them. Incubus. We got to hopefully we're working on a couple dates with Incubus coming up this summer. Foo Fighters. You know, my brother and I are huge U2 fans, and Third Eye Blind is kind of a.
So if we were to check the CD player in the old minivan, what would be left in that CD player?
It'd be nothing, man. It'd be on an iPod.
Well, they said it was a decade-old minivan when
Yeah.
it left, so I'm guessing it might have been a cassette deck in there or something.
Yeah.
Possible.
Now, there is a cassette deck, but we have the adapter, so it all works.
There you go. There you go. Also, I see that this is where I kind of really can relate to you guys, that you got sponsored out by Jägermeister.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you were also quoted on that one saying that was like giving Superman an endorsement from Kryptonite.
yeah.
Once again, I can agree on that one.
Our girlfriends weren't too happy when we got sponsored by Jaeger. We have a nickname for Jaeger. We call it Jail Juice because
I just like doing the shot the next day after you've had way too much the night before, and you go like, man, that tastes just like last night. It was awesome. So now you guys did, as an up-and-coming band, I saw that you guys, when you were out on tour with following the Mayhem Fest round, that you guys actually went through the crowd selling CDs to have gas money.
Yeah. We had a bucket that said gas fund on it, and we had a box of CDs, and we would sometimes people would give us $20 for one CD, and a couple times guys were like, here's a quarter, and we'll just take whatever you give us, So we at least made enough money to fill up the gas tank. So.
Well, that's a good. You guys have a great story reading through it as an up-and-coming band, and like to give those up-and-coming bands out there now kind of like a little bit of inspiration, saying, look, we've done it. It's nothing new.
Yeah.
So don't go out there and try to, rewrite the book.
Yeah, at the very least, if we can inspire somebody, that's the whole goal. So.
You guys are
and
doing
none of
now.
it happened overnight by
No.
any means.
No, not at all. Like I said, we've been through a whole hell of a lot as a band, and a lot of bands wouldn't necessarily make it through. Some of the obstacles we've had to hurdle. And,
I read some of that as well. In fact, we were talking a little bit back in the green room. I want you guys to explain. The album title is "True Love Never Dies,"
yeah,
and I wanted to clear it to make sure that I could even talk about this with you guys because it's pretty deep. How that album title came out. Why don't you tell everybody about that?
Yeah, the album title itself was actually a tattoo that our cousin Ivan Patrick had on his neck, you know, Vegas is not exactly an ideal place for relationships and trying to find love and all that sort of thing. But no matter how many times he got his heart broken, that guy always, you know, he always was ready to give it over to the next person who he felt was deserving of it. And he passed away on Halloween night riding his Harley, which is, you know, that'd be like us passing away on stage, I guess. You know, we're doing what we love to do. He was doing what he loved to do. And one day we were actually doing a radio interview back at home, and, you know, the host asked us, you know, what's the album going to be called? And just all five of us right there on the spot were just like, you know, we're going to call it True Love Never Dies. And we said it on air, live on air, and it was just, that's just how it happened. So,
well, I tell you what, why don't we do another tune?
All right, this is I Don't Apologize off the album True Love Never Dies. Don't apologize for taking back the life that I deserve. It's like we took 1,000 pictures just to watch them burn. And with every moment wasted, it doesn't feel like anything was learned after the fall. I'd rather be blind than to see your eyes. I'd rather be deaf than to hear your lies. I'd rather be broke than to sell my soul. I gave you my all, but you'll never know. No, I'm not gonna hurt anymore. I've already walked through that door. All of this time could have moved on, should have known better than this. And I hope it hits you right between the eyes. I don't apologize. And I don't apologize for all the times you said that I was wrong. Scattered all the pieces. You couldn't just leave good enough alone. And with every step you're taking, it's cutting even deeper to the bone. We could have had it all. Oh, no, I'm not gonna hurt anymore. He walked through that door. All of this time could have moved on, should have known better than this. And I hope it hits you right between the eyes. I don't apologize. I don't apologize. I'd rather be blind than to see your eyes. I'd rather be deaf than to hear your lies. I'd rather be broke than to sell my soul. I gave you my all, but you'll never know. No, I'm not gonna hurt anymore. I've already walked through that door. All of this time could have moved on, should have known better than this. And I hope it hits you right between the eyes. I don't apologize. No, I don't apologize. I don't apologize. It's like we took 1,000 pictures just to watch them burn.
Otherwise, live in the RP Funding Theater, online at WJRR.com. Guys, like we talked about, just got off of Rockville yesterday.
Yeah.
What other interesting stories you got from the road on this tour that you're on right now?
Oh, man. Well, it's definitely better.
That's the Jägermeister, isn't it?
We won't talk about New Orleans.
We won't talk about New Orleans.
No.
Didn't come home till we drove across Lake Pontchartrain at 7:30 in the morning. On the way out, the sun was coming up. That was interesting to say the least. But the whole like the great point about this tour is that we aren't in a van anymore. You know, like that. We have an RV and
Thank God.
yeah.
It doesn't have air conditioning in it or a cassette player, but you got an RV.
No, it's got
A place to sleep. Yeah,
place to
bunks.
sleep. Yeah, it's got bunks. We did a run with Pop Evil, and we were in a passenger van that it only slept 4 guys, and there's 5 guys in the band, and we had 2 crew members too. And so that thing was a powder keg, man. Like just
You guys all became really good friends. After that.
After becoming really bad enemies first. We learned a lot about each other,
And how to sleep upright often.
yeah.
No.
Yeah. So the one thing that does kind of blows a little bit is we bought this RV and it has an extension, a 14-foot slide-out extension, and that was like the selling point, you know, like, oh wow, we're rolling in style, we got our own green room. And
how long did that last?
Yeah, a week. One week in, and the extension crapped out. So
You went to push it out and it just fell off the side of the.
it almost did, and we had to like pull it back in, like wind it back in manually with this like cable thing. It was.
That's fantastic.
We haven't stopped since we signed in December with Century Media Records.
Mm-hmm.
We signed the record deal, and then like 10 days later, which was the new year, we went to NRG Studios in North Hollywood to start our album, and straight from recording our album for 4 weeks, which is quite unbelievable that we got a whole album done in 1 month. We literally jumped in the 15-passenger van and went on our first tour. And then we came home for like 5 days and then went on our next tour. So we haven't stopped since the new year.
Since January.
Nothing wrong with that. You're doing what you love, and well, I guess you could take a little bit more rest in between there. But.
Yeah, it would have been nice. I miss our dogs a lot.
Well, it actually said here when we were talking about collecting gas money, it said to help you guys get back to your gorgeous girlfriends, and I'm quoting that from the website.
Yeah, but they miss the dogs though.
We miss the dogs.
They miss the dogs.
They miss the dogs, but not their gorgeous girlfriends.
Dogs.
Gorgeous dogs.
Right on. Well, the Mayhem Fest tour has obviously paid off because it's just been announced that you guys are going to be performing on the Mayhem Festival cruise. That's got to be kind of fun.
It'll be our first
See, you
cruise.
guys get a vacation out of this thing too. You get to go on a cruise.
Yeah, it's a paid vacation.
You guys should come
You guys are all
in
invited.
December.
Cool. You guys are picking up the tab for that, right?
Yeah.
No, actually, the label
We'll
is.
put it on the label.
There you go. Label credit card. Right on. And also other Century Media artists. You got Girl on Fire and Suicide Silence
Yeah.
joining you guys. So
Cool guys.
it's going to be kind of a big party on a boat.
Yeah.
And you can't end up on the other side of a lake when you're on a boat. You just
No,
other end
you
of the
just
boat.
end up in the water. Right?
Exactly. Don't fall off the boat, fellas. All right. Well, the last song you guys are going to play for us, we've actually been spinning here at
Yeah.
JRR.
Thank you, by the way, for that.
I talked to the bosses. It's not me, really. But I was reading about that, and it says that it's a metaphor. The song is actually a metaphor.
Yeah. It's been embraced widely by the military community, which is, very a big honor for us. But about this time last year, this last summer, we were all kind of like really questioning if we were going to keep playing music and try to do it for a living, because first off, the pay isn't that good, and second, it's we're constantly fighting. We're constantly fighting we're doing band battles. We're trying to get the good slots on the big shows. We're trying to, just get someone to listen to us and believe in us and get our message out there. So we were sitting there, and it was kind of a little slump we were in, and one day in rehearsal, I realized that we're kind of like a little army. You know, we're trying to take over the hearts and minds of people and win everybody over. You know, and it's a constant struggle. And so my brother started jamming the riff one night, and he's had this riff for like 3 years. You know, we just never did anything with it. And we all came together, the guys started playing along, and I mean, it was just kind of flow of consciousness. You know, the melody and the lyrics came out, and we were writing it. We wrote it for ourselves. You know, like we're soldiers. We're going to soldier on. We're not going to quit. You know, and we were at that point where it was time to make a decision, and good thing we didn't, because you know, here we are. We get to meet you guys and play music and hang out with our friends. And another crazy thing about this song is that our cousin Ivan came to the studio, and he sang on the song with us. There's a group chant at the end of the song, and his voice is on the recording. And the last show that we did with him, he was on our crew. He was one of our crew members. He was a drum tech, and he had a bunk on the bus and all. You know, he was basically me and my brother's brother. I was the exact same age as him, and the last show we did was 48 Hours Festival, and that was the show that Jose from a satellite radio, he picked up the album, and he put the song on satellite radio, and it was the first song to go #1 in the history of satellite radio by an unsigned band. And that was shortly after our cousin passed away, you know. And so his voice you guys are spinning his voice right now, you know, and it's a beautiful thing, man. So
it's a very patriotic song. It's one of those ones that you can actually see soldiers that are fighting in wars with their iPods in their ears listening to that, just to give them that extra fuel to keep on going.
Yeah, we had a Marine in South Carolina. We did Welcome to Rockville in South Carolina on Friday, and he was like, I just got back, you know, from tour, and you know, the whole battalion spins that song in Afghanistan, you know. That's like, yeah, it's just crazy.
It almost forces you to be more patriotic than you already are.
Yeah,
in some cases,
it's an anthem for sure, you know. And hopefully, you know, you guys can come watch us play it live, plugged in, and you know, super loud in a big stadium.
Well, then, without further ado, this is Soldiers. It's Otherwise in the RP Funding Theater.
It's time to strap our boots on. This is a perfect day to die. Wipe the blood out of our eyes. In this life there's no surrender. There's nothing left for us to do. Find the strength to see this through. We are the ones who will never be broken. With our final breath, we'll fight to the death. We are soldiers, we are soldiers. Whoa. Soldier. And I stand here right beside you. Tonight we're fighting for our lives. Let me hear your battle cry. Your battle cry. We are the ones who will never be broken. With our final breath, we'll fight to the death. We are soldiers, we are soldiers. We are the ones who will will not go unspoken. We will not sleep. We are not sheep. We are soldiers. We are soldiers. Shoulder to shoulder, we stand shoulder to shoulder, we stand shoulder to shoulder. You can't erase us, you'll just have to face us. We stand shoulder to shoulder, we stand shoulder to shoulder, we stand shoulder to shoulder. You can't erase us, you'll just have to face us. We are the ones who will never be broken. With our final breath, we'll fight to the death. We are soldiers, we are soldiers. We are the ones who will not go unspoken. We will not sleep. We are not sheep. We are soldiers. We are soldiers. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We are soldiers. Whoa. We are soldiers.
Otherwise, live in the RP Funding Theater on WJRR.com. Guys, good stuff.
Thank you guys for having us.
Kind of got
Man.
chills going on right now from that song. I like that.
Dave, thank you so much.
No
man.
problem at all. No problem at all. Now, what do you guys have playing? Like you just said, you did an album in a month.
Yeah, with a guy named Jay Baumgartner. He broke Papa Roach. He did Hoobastank's first album. He did Seether's first album. He did Drowning Pool. I mean, he's broken a lot of rock.
So you're in good
genre.
company, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And
The force is strong with that one.
yeah, the force is strong with that guy. And it's funny because he's been in the game for 20 some odd years. He's a legendary producer, and he's like albums don't get made like this, man. It was like we were there in usually.
We also played how many shows in that one month?
Oh yeah,
Three shows.
we played
in the
3
middle of it?
shows in the month that we were recording too. So we had a
We played two.
we did
That's what I mean. You did 2, and then there was one full band.
we did. Yeah,
We had gigs booked, and it was like, well, we got these gigs booked, and we got to record a record, and then we'll just do both
So
at the same time.
on the weekends, we were driving back to Vegas, flying back to Vegas, playing our residencies at the station casinos out there, and then going back. So it was just like every weekend we had a show, and we were recording. It was crazy.
And usually, when an album gets cut, you take a month to do pre-pro, which is you go through all the songs and fix notes here and there. And we didn't even do that. We didn't even get a chance to do that with Jay.
We talked to Jay for a day.
Yeah, one day, and then
Here's some of the songs we're going to record. These sound cool? Okay, cool. Yeah, let's go.
Let me open up this Pro Tools screen and see what happened.
Yeah, and we had, because all the demos we did last year were done in my garage. That was where we did the first version of Soldiers and all that kind of stuff. And like, one guy would be recording in the main studio, like through this massive old Neve board, and I'd be sitting in the other corner, like programming things and like transferring them into their main computer. Like we were trying to run 2 studios at once the whole month. It was intense.
Yeah.
And
Hey, well, you pulled it off in a month. What's next? I mean, is the next album, are you going to shoot to try to do it in 2 weeks, or how's that going to work?
A weekend. We're gonna try
A weekend. Do the whole thing in one weekend.
it'll be all spoken word. Will be,
acapella.
I can see your green room stocked up with Jägermeister and whatever else, and 2 days later you'll have a full album.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Right on. Well, thank you guys again for coming in.
Thank you guys for having us, man. Make some noise for yourselves. For coming
Absolutely.
out. Thank you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys for joining us there, and also for those of you watching on the worldwide interweb at WJRR.com. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.